In this video, we'll talk about course outline. So we will start our course with the web fundamentals, in which we'll talk about the fundamentals of web technologies and the tools required for the web development. After that, we'll move to the HTML and CSS. There we'll talk about the basics of HTML and basics of CSS. After that, we'll move to the JavaScript for LWC. In this section, we'll talk about all the key JavaScript topics that are required to become a master in LWC. After that, we will move to the LWC introduction and its setup. There we'll talk about the why we need LWC, what is LWC, how we can set up the project, how we can set up the domain, dev hub, what is Scratchuk, and all those key topics we'll talk about there. After that, we will move to the fundamental of LWC. Under this section, we'll talk about how to create the first component, what is the folder structure of the component, what are the naming convention we need to follow for creating the component, how the app creation works, how the component deployment works, what are the properties, what are the bindings, what are getters, how to render conditionally, how the loops works in LWC. After that, we'll move to the first project. Whatever we learned in the previous section, we'll utilize that knowledge to build this project. After that, we'll move to the composition and query selector. Under the composition, we'll see how we can embed one component into another component, and we'll talk about the Shadow DOM, what is Shadow DOM, how Shadow DOM works. After that, we'll move to the accessing elements in the component using the query selector. Then we'll move to the new topic, that is Lightning styling in Lightning Web Component, and that's very interesting topic because here we're going to explore different ways of styling like inline and external styling, using the Lightning design system for the styling, SLDS design tokens, how we can use shared CSS in LWC, how we can give the dynamic styling, how we can use styling across the Shadow DOM. So all these topics will cover under this section. After that, we'll go to the component lifecycle hook, and these hooks are very much important to understand the core of the framework. So we'll see what are the mounting phase of the component, how the unmounting phase of the component works, how the error phase of the component works, how the render method works. All your lifecycle hooks like connected callback, render callback, disconnected callbacks come under this section. Then we will move to the component communication. Under this section, we'll see how we can pass the data from parent to child, how we can pass the data from child to parent, how we can pass the data from one independent component to another independent component using the PubSub module. After that, we'll move to the setter, slots, and CSS behavior in parent-child relationship. Because now in previous section, we already know how we can communicate from parent to child. So now we need to understand the setter. So how we can set the property dynamically, how we can use the slot, how we can, instead of passing the data, how we can pass the HTML to the child, and now how the CSS works when you are working with the parent-child relationship. After this section, we'll move to the section 12, and we'll see how to build a reusable component, because now we know how the slot works, how the parent combination works. So utilizing that knowledge, we'll build a reusable component. After that, we'll go to the Aura coexistence. In this, we'll see how we can embed our Lightning Web component inside the Aura component and how they will communicate between each other. After this, we'll move to the communication between Visualforce, Aura, and LWC. Here we're going to use the standard Salesforce Lightning messaging service to communicate from LWC to LWC, LWC to Aura, LWC to Aura to Visualforce. All sort of combination we're going to perform here. After this communication, we'll go to the Salesforce resources component context and the notification. And this is one of the most interesting area where you'll explore about how you can use the static resources inside the LWC, how you can use a third-party JavaScript library, third-party CSS library inside the LWC. Then you will see the content asset files. Then we'll talk about internationalization. That's a very interesting topic. Apart from that, we'll see how you can access the labels inside the LWC. Apart from that, we'll see the check permission, access client form factor, get information about the current logged in user, will fetch the record ID dynamically, object name dynamically, will learn about different types of notification, error notification, success notification, and all sort of notification. After this knowledge, we'll move to another topic, that is memory game. This is a project in which we'll create a memory game. And whatever we learned till now, we'll utilize that knowledge to build this game. After this, we will move to a navigation service. Now, we know all the fundamental, all the component communication. Now we have to understand how we can navigate from one component to another component. And here we will understand how we can navigate from one component to home page, chatter page, new record, list view, and you record page in view or edit mode, tabs, and all sort of combination we're gonna cover. After that, we will move to the base lightning components. In this, we'll talk about all the base lightning component, what is lightning data service, how lightning data service work, how lightning record form works, how view form works, how edit form works, how custom validation work. After the understanding of base lightning component, we'll go and understand about lightning data service, wire adapter and wire function. And we'll see wire, what is wire service, how to fetch the user detail using wire service, how the wire service is reactive. We're going to prove this, how the wire service is reactive. Apart from that, we will use different kind of wire adapter and function like get record, create record, update record, delete record, get list UI, get field value. There are so many adapters we're gonna learn in this section. After that, we'll move to the Apex in LWC. Here we'll see how we can expose and import the Apex method to LWC. After that, we'll see how the wire Apex method works, how the wire Apex method works with the parameters, how the call Apex imperatively works, how the Apex imperatively with parameter works. So all sort of combination we're gonna cover with LWC. And then after that, we'll go and build a book listing app with REST API callout. In this, we'll learn how we can connect to the external RESTful API and utilize their data to build an app. After this section, we'll move to the component configuration. So we'll see how we can configure our component based on their different meta tags. After that, we'll see how we can build this Lightning Web component in the utility bar, how we can embed the Lightning Web component in the Lightning tab, and we'll explore the different types of real-time features after that. That is like how to generate the PDF in the LWC, how to generate the maps, how to generate the charts, how to generate the CSV file, how to generate the pagination, how to do filtering and sorting, how to do date value. There are many features we're going to explore under this section. After that, we will go to the our main project, that is Car Hub project. Whatever we learned till now, you're gonna utilize everything, each and everything under this project. It's gonna be a very big project. And at the end, we'll explore the jest testing, and we'll cover most of the scenario under the jest testing, like Apex, wire service, data communication, two-way data binding, and everything we're gonna cover under this section. So that's it all about our course outline. So I'll see you in the course.